actually walk out and tell the mom that the child has passed away, so without the presence of a physician or clinician, is that possible? So I'd like to hear what do you think went well, and what can we do to improve this particular scenario, given the objective of the difficult discussion about the child's dying. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So Elise and I were talking about length of scenario, right? So I didn't know if, I know that you all, Elise was mentioning that in general, it's about a 10 minutes, right, scenario. Which it actually wasn't as long as I thought. Oh, okay. So
I felt like it was going a lot longer than what I'm used to, but it turned out it was only maybe about 12 minutes.
Oh, okay. So we're okay.
Yeah,
so
we're
okay.
Yeah, I was tracking, I think we're okay all the time. The question is, did it fit? Why did it feel long? And because I know it felt long, so are we normal here? Are we within
So I
a
think,
normal experience?
like, was the flow okay, and the progression of events and the way that, everything happened one after another, did you all feel that was appropriate, given that you're the content experts?
I felt that we accomplished the objectives. The first one was Mom arrived. The interpreter played a key role. Obviously, your role was key to this whole thing in terms of your positioning, your availability, your conveying information from one to the other, and we did that. And Korean, you did great in terms of just involving her the way that we wanted to, and also getting that go tell mom.
It's hard to separate people who are entwined.
So it took me a minute to get them separated.
But I think that, honestly, sometimes this is going to feel longer because when you have interpreters involved, it is longer.
Yes.
And so I think it's natural. I actually feel really good about the fact that felt longer. I know for me it felt like an eternity. Yes. But I think it felt very natural because it does feel longer, and it should be longer when you have an interpreter, because there is different sort of delays that are necessary. So I think that, yes, it felt like it lasted. I think I aged. But
allow us to progress by your acting did help the whole thing.
I'm sorry, I couldn't not bring her to the bedside. Like, I know we talked about that. I was like, yes, homegirl, you're coming up.
Maybe we're able to accomplish both in one.
Yeah, that felt real.
Yeah, it went very well.
And it suggests that we can actually probably do what we were talking earlier in a 12-minute, 10, 12-minute scenario.
Well, I think that bringing them to the bedside is important because it also works on the interpreter's positioning in a very crowded, tight space. So where does the interpreter sit or stand while you're working on the patient and the mom's by the bedside?
She was interpreting everything she was whispering into his ear to me. Like, it was incredible. She was like, she's telling him that she wants him to breathe. She's telling him that I was like, oh my God, like, this is like so incredibly real right now. This is perfect. It was, but I mean, every syllable she was saying to the patient, she was like, and I was just like, oh my goodness, this is too real.
And my question is, I felt like I needed to interpret what was going on here, but I felt that it wasn't right, but I know that as an interpreter you have to, so what
So that's a question I put Ricardo to the side for. I need to get clarity on our role for that.
Yeah, I guess the same thing.
I know that in the past when I've been to stressful situations or traumatic situations, I have not had a personal experience of being interpreting for trauma. Because there are so many things being said, I don't feel I'm the appropriate person to choose what to interpret to the parents. So when I get there, before I even start, I ask someone who is in charge and who can give me some kind of summary so that I can interpret that to the parents of what is happening. Because I cannot choose.
That would be me.
I'm going to interpret what you said, but not what you said, or what you said, but not what you said. I don't feel that's fair.
But as an interpreter, we're supposed to interpret everything that we hear.
Because you asking about the point when you and mom were here and the doctor was standing
Right.
there with the
Correct.
clinicians.
I could hear some things,
Right.
but
Okay.
I'm supposed to interpret
So
some things that I hear.
different. Right.
Okay, yeah, I need to get clarity.
Terry, you even asked me about
Yeah,
that.
I even wondered because it kind of gives the status of the patient also.
Right.
And you wonder, should you
Right.
be interpreting that?
Right. well, I don't want I mean, I think that it would be really hard for the parent to hear the first time no pulses,
Yes.
which is one of the things that was said up
Exactly,
here
that's
right.
from the interpreter. Like, I don't think that is not news that I think that you should be given the burden to break, you know?
However, we provide, the idea behind interpreting is to provide folks with
Same
that will
experience.
simulate an English speaker. So if an English speaking mom is
You're gonna
standing
hear
there,
it.
Here,
you're
right.
gonna hear
Absolutely
it.
gonna hear it.
So I think to James's point, and I really like what Diana did, I think, and I'm not sure if you actually told her to remain with mom or just kind of, I think you must come home, sit here and wait. At that point, we have to decide, well, is the interpreter supposed to kind of come here closer? I think no, because it should be in the way. I think she'll best serve the patient by standing next to her. She was actually saying a lot of things. Yes, they were in Spanish, and some of them were like, I don't know, for a little dramatical, I guess, but they were relevant because she was saying things that, I mean, if a person is here listening, I mean, she's about to say, I don't know, something crazy, then you guys need to know what she's saying. So I personally think that she standing by the patient
So
is appropriate.
I've not heard the answer to the question I was over here talking to Ricardo about, and that is, if an interpreter is in the room and you're saying things like, there is no pulse, get the coroner, things of that nature, an English-speaking patient would hear that. I need my team to help me come to a consensus on, do our interpreters say that?
You should say, yes.
Yes.
My question is though, if they're in a code trauma, there are typically 10 people
Yes.
around this
Yes.
bed.
Right.
Okay.
So who, if one interpreter's there, how do you translate, even if you're talking simulated English speaking, how do you translate 10 people's verbs? So who is the most important?
And typically, you would not, in that case where you have that many people, mom would not be sitting right here. Well, then that's right on the outside in the
Right.
hallway.
Should be like
we
right by the
discussed
elevator,
before.
like
Right.
literally, which is like right where
And
the
then when
elevator
you
is.
had a moment, you would go out there and speak with the,
Realistically, there's too many people, there's clerks,
right.
there's no space.
And you
And
can't even see.
Yeah.
Usually
And
you can't,
also-
yeah, you might be able to see the feet,
although
that's
she,
about it.
and although she did a great job, I feel like when you're, let's say, standing here one-on-one with mom, there's a priority of what you have to interpret, because even though you're hearing 10 different things and an English-speaking mom would have heard all that, I cannot put a good ear to this conversation with you, at the same time yell no pulse, because really this is what's, I mean, so it's almost like the interpreter has to choose, I'm gonna
Yes.
interpret this for sure, and then can I get in this other stuff? But bedside, that's almost impossible.
But one of the
until
nice
after.
things that for this simulation is to say, like, okay, let's figure out that hierarchy of priorities,
Right.
and let's all have the same hierarchy of priorities. You know what I mean when it comes to interpreting, because that's a great point. You know, like I never would have thought, like, you know, when we have English-speaking parents in the Bay and they're hearing, like, we don't have pulses, put on the defibrillator, is this a shockable rhythm? Like they're hearing all of that. I don't know how much is actually going in, but they're physically hearing all of that. And so I think that we need to make sure that we're providing our, you know, Spanish speakers, Arabic speaking, Russian speaking patients kind of that same thing. And I also wonder sometimes if it would be nice for all of our patients to kind of have that hierarchy of like what, you know, we should be talking about because
And even-
it's a little rough.
And also the English-speaking moms, yeah, I heard it, but I didn't really hear
But
it.
it doesn't make sense, like nothing's
Yes.
fired
Listening to you.
appropriately.
Well, and I'm saying for, typically if you have a family present, you have one dedicated staff, interpreter or not. You have a dedicated medical person to that person who is interpreting the medical knowledge.
Yes.
So it sounds to me like we have to revisit the whole scenario in that little aspect here, because then if that is not realistic, should we then just kind of
Well,
test the
I don't-
situation?
there was a comment.
Would be if you talk about being present in the room with moms in the hall,
Correct.
and then you go out. When the physician goes out to talk to them, so you're staying present with the physician rather than with the parent.
I think most times they're with the
Interpreter always stays
parent.
with the
Yeah.
parent.
Parents.
With the parent. So you're not interpreting the patient.
That's not always the case because I've been to many instances where I've had to interpret for inpatients. And you're in the corner, in the room, and you can't, even if you wanted to, you have to go through what's going on to exit the room. So you just wait until they take the patient to OR or they, like, you know, he passes away or she passes away. So you're in the room, so it also happens in the room as well.
So has the trauma team ever considered the need for an interpreter and where they might be placed during those kind of situations?
It might
Being
be,
that
this may
interpreters
be an
don't know.
assumption on my part, but I always assume when I'm in the trauma bay that the interpreter is with the patient. Now, the patients are usually right outside the red line, you know what I mean?
Family,
And
Yes.
so they're close,
Yes.
but And sometimes the interpreter will come up and say like, hey, can you come and give us an update? And I'll be like, absolutely, you know, like, let's go do that. But, you know, I would say that they will join the, like if the patient's stable and then we bring them up to the bedside before we go to like CAT scan or something, you know, they would come with me and the patient, you know, the parent up to the bedside so we can talk about like what we're gonna do and those sorts of things. But it's really interesting. I never thought about all the other stimuli.
To address that even further, because of the way our trauma bays are set up, the interpreter usually finds the position where I am within reach and visibility of the staff as well as the parent. So I'm looking at both. I'm able to see if someone approaches mom and needs me, I run right there. But I'm standing here because oftentimes what I will say is the interpreter here, I need the interpreter, well, for some reason. So you position yourself where it's.
So
This is true, but allow questions randomly, but if you ran this with 10 people around the bed, carts, where, and it's almost even hard to get a glimpse of my kid, that's more realistic than wide open room. I mean, this is the way.
So how about we run this scenario differently to make it more realistic? Taking it from the top, interpreter comes in, talks with her physician, mom arrives, interpreter goes and engages with mom, and then mom and interpreter come back into the room. Do we keep them in the room?
And who would be the person, because the interpreter is not the one to decide whether mom is in the room. Someone.
I think that in
is the one
most
that
code
is-
situations, they would be just slightly behind like the red tape on the floor, which is like the entrance of the trauma bay, and they would just be sitting like right behind that line, just in case, in case we have to get like the you know, like, we don't want them to get injured in the process. So, standard operating procedures, they're just outside the red line, literally, which is right here. Like this is the red line right here, and right where this card is right where they would be sitting.
Right.
And then, you know, or standing, sometimes they stand right at the doorway there, and then as soon as we can bring them up to the bedside.
But that's a call you would make, not the interpreter.
No.
That's
And
the call.
like
So
I said, I think that
someone would have to say
But
to
if,
the
at any point the
bring
interpreter,
them.
like the patient's asking questions, the parents are asking questions, I mean, it's totally appropriate, and this has happened to me where the interpreter will come up and be like, hey, we have some questions back here.
Well, I know we're trying to get realistic, but also I think that it's important that we have a challenging situation as well. So I think that creating a scenario where all the conversations are out of earshot, while that may be more realistic, it's not as challenging. I think that if we're going to put the interpreters in a situation like this and we're trying to challenge them,
They won't be out of earshot.
okay, well, I'm saying that they shouldn't be out of earshot. Let's keep them right in the midst of things where the interpreters really have to work to keep up with what's happening.
They are literally probably like 6 feet from the bed. They're just kind of.
There's no wall.
Okay.
There's like wide in this doorway, and they're just right there.
So should we, moving forward, have
That's
the
what the teacher was
parents
gonna say, right? Or
Yeah.
can they just sit right here?
Yeah.
You've got 2 chairs, one there, one there. I mean,
That's very
because we
realistic.
want to capture them on the video as well, so
That's perfect. Where Jerome is.
So, okay, so the change here is that we'll put the 2 chairs in here for the parents and the interpreter. Okay? So
Can I
that's
say
good.
something? I don't know if it's relevant, but in trauma base we have 1 or 2 trauma bays. 1, 2, 3. So in the first trauma bay when you go in, there is the patient is right here, and there are lots of people, and the parents are there. Really, there is not much space. You have to be there because you have here the cart where the nurse is giving you all the. So that cart or wherever you have the medicines is actually right here. It's on the way. If the parents are here and these patients right there in trauma